Hello everyone, Stephen here. We're going to graph another polynomial together. This polynomial h of x is a little bit upsetting because it's really not ready to be graphed yet, and I'll tell you why. When we look at a polynomial, we want it to have it completely factored before we try to sketch a graph. This polynomial is not completely factored because this right here, x squared minus 9, does not look like one of our standard factors, which is either x plus a number, x minus a number, or just an x. So this factor is not the factor we want. We need to break it up even more. Fortunately, it's a difference of squares. So x squared minus 9 is the same thing as x plus 3 times x minus 3. And that would be a completely factored polynomial, but we still want to make sure that we group together all the common factors. So we're going to have h of x equals negative x. And you see this x minus 3 right here? Well, we just picked up another x minus 3 when we factored x squared minus 9. So now we're going to have x minus 3 squared. And then we've got this x plus 3 right here, but there already was an x plus 3 squared, so we add another x plus 3 to that, and now it's going to be x plus 3 cubed. And the x plus 4 is going to go unchanged. Okay, so sometimes before we work with a polynomial, we have to finish the factoring. And the way we knew we had to finish factoring here is because this does not look like one of our standard factors. But now, we got this equation completely factored, ready to go. So let's write down our degree. Now, this degree is very, very easy to mess up because there's a 2, a 3, and a 1 right there. So a lot of people think the degree is just 6. But really, we cannot forget this x in front, which has a power of 1 on it. So our degree is actually going to be 7. The leading coefficient. Well, some people might think the leading coefficient is negative x because there's a negative x in front. However, the leading coefficient never has an x in it, it's just a number. And we can't actually even see the number, that's the frustrating part. This negative sign in front is actually a negative 1, and negative 1 is our leading coefficient. So because we have an odd degree here and we have a negative leading coefficient, we know that we get this type of end behavior. Rises left, falls right. Okay, now that we have our completely factored polynomial and we have our degree and our leading coefficient or end behavior, we'll go ahead and write down the zeros. So from smallest to largest, my first 0 is going to be from this factor. It's going to be negative 4. I find my second 0 in this factor, negative 3. And I find another 0 right here, which is 3. But I've made a mistake. Once again, this x in front comes back to haunt us. If there is an x in front, or an x squared, or an x cubed, or an x to any power in front of the other factors, that means that 0, the number 0, is one of your zeros. It's an easy one to forget, but we do need to put that 0 in there because of the x in front of all the other factors. Okay, quickly we'll turn these into x-intercepts. Negative 4, 0, negative 3, 0, 0, 0, and 3, 0. We'll write down the multiplicities, which we get by looking at the powers on the factors that produce the 0. So this is going to be a 1, this is going to be a 3, this is going to be a 1, this is going to be a 2. Add them up, 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2, and we get a 7. That's what we're supposed to get. Behavior. If the multiplicity is 1, you just do a nice clean cross. If the multiplicity is even, 2, 4, 6, 8, something like that, you do a bounce. And the multiplicity is odd but not 1, like 3 or 5 or 7 or 9, so on and so forth, then you'll do what we call a cross and flatten, or what some people call a wiggle. All right, that was a lot of work to get all that, but we are ready to draw the graph, so let's do that now. So I'll start here by putting in my indicator arrows to show what the end behavior looks like. That also helps me know that I'm supposed to start above the x-axis off to the left here. Then I'll put in my x-intercepts, so they're going to be at negative 4, negative 3, right near it, 0, and 3. And then to help me draw it, I will put in my little indicators here. So I got a cross And then I'm going to have a cross and flatten. That's awfully close. We'll do our best with that. Then I'll have a cross. Then over here I'll have a bounce. Okay, so coming into my cross, that's the one that you can just kind of cross right through like that. But then to do my cross and flatten, what I need to do is I need to make sure I don't go too far, because then I'm going to miss it. So let's go back here a little bit. And keeping a nice smooth curve, I come up here a little early so I can do a cross and flatten like that. Nice smooth curve. All right, I also need to cross the origin, so keeping it nice and smooth, I come down and just cut right through the origin like that. My last one's going to be a bounce. Come up early, a little bit later, and we get a nice smooth curve showing the appropriate behavior and all the x-intercepts and the appropriate end behavior. I hope that helped. Thanks for watching.